What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review. Man, it's the end of 2024, dude. So this has been a crazy year. Uh, my channel is about a year and a half old now, so we had a lot of growth from the 1 year ago. This time, we just hit 8,000 subscribers, which is super crazy. So thank you to all the OG fans. Thank you to all the new people. Ooh, fans. Ugh. Thank you to all the OG homies that have been hanging out and chilling and supporting this channel. And welcome to all the people that just joined the Punk Rock Review family. It's wonderful to have you here. I appreciate it. So we've had a crazy, crazy year. Before I get started on this top 10 punk rock albums of 2024 list, I do want to shout out something that I'm very proud of. My label has taken off this year. We put out, I think we only had 2 albums in 23. I think we had maybe 1 even. We put out like 10 records this year. A lot of it was on cassette tape, but we have a couple of 7 inches and a 12-inch on the way. They won't be out officially till 2025, but I started doing all the work a couple months ago. If you want to support what I'm doing and support some DIY bands, some independent punk bands, I just dropped this Layers EP from Cake Eater out of LA. This is featuring 3 of the dudes from the street punk band The Havoc. Check this out, dude. My Bandcamp link's in the bio, in the description rather. This is really, really good. And then we got a 4-song demo from Without Apology out of Houston, Texas. This is where I'm from. This is an Oi band, very, very much like an old school traditional Oi band for fans of like Cockspar, Violent Way, just straightforward knuckle dragon punk rock, street punk rock. It's so good. This demo is so good. But they're both in my Bandcamp if you want to check that out. If you don't, no worries. Just have to shout these dudes out. I'm really proud to work with those guys. So it's cool, man. So this is a video about the best records from this year. It was hard to come down to 10. So I've got 3 honorable mentions. I've got a top 10 list, and then I got about 5 bands that I just want to shout them out. Literally, I'm going to go through it really quick with those guys. I'll do that at the end, okay? So let's just start out with the honorable mentions. So Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day and Aaron Comet Bus from Crimpshine have a band together called Pinhead Gunpowder, and they dropped an album this year called Unt. I've only listened to it a few times, but it was one that quickly made its way to my liked list on Spotify. And so I just wanted to mention it. I don't think that it was a top 10 record for me, but it was definitely worth listening to multiple times, and I bought a copy of it. That tells me a lot right there. But Unt came out fairly recently. I think it came out in December, maybe November, maybe. It might have been older than that, actually. I don't know. But it was fairly recent, last quarter of the year. October. Okay, October 18th, last part of October, right before Halloween. 14 songs, 33 minutes. Pretty typical for song, number of songs and length of album. But it's just good, poppy, punk rock and roll. And I thought it was worth mentioning. I really enjoyed the record. The title track is really good. Difficult, Not Impossible is a good song. Nothing Ever Happens is also a good song. I did make a playlist for this video. I'm still adding a little bit to it, but it's going to be, I'll link it in the description of this, okay? So over in the UK, there's a band called The Chisel that everybody's like freaking out about. They're really good. But before The Chisel, there was a band called Chubby and the Gang that's got some of the same members. At least it used to. I don't know if they still do. But Chubby and the Gang dropped, and then there was Chubby and the Gang this year. 16 songs, 45 and a half minutes, kind of a little bit longer record. But it's I don't know what to call it. It's like if Turbo Negro and an Oi band mixed up, and then it also had a little bobber rock and roll mixed in there, you'd have Chubby and the Gang. It's really good, like fast rock and roll, little. Well, their old stuff was way faster than this. It's just good. Go listen to it. Check it out. The songs that stood out to me were The Bonnie Banks is a song that I've been listening to all year, and Anti-Cop is very clearly a song I would like. And then last but not least, as far as honorable mentions, we have the Offspring are still making quality music. I'll be honest, it surprises me. They had an album come out this year called Supercharged. It's 10 songs, 32 minutes long. Can y'all hear my dog snoring? If you can't, that's awesome. But boy, it is loud in my ear. Pedro, goodness. Okay. Anyways, Supercharged came out this year. For a band that started in the late 80s to still be making quality albums right now is crazy to me. They had Okay, so it's 10 songs, right? There's only one song. It's called "Come to Brazil" that I think is just I don't get it, but there's 9 good songs on this 10-song album. They almost snuck into the top 10, but the other bands I felt like warranted the attention a little bit more. But the Offspring's new album is really good. They have a song called "Light It Up" that's really good. "Truth and Fiction," "Make It All Right," "The Fall Guy." There's a bunch of good songs on this record, so go check it out if you're interested. There'll be a couple songs off of it in the playlist that I'll link in the description. All right, now top 10. Okay, let's get this top 10 list underway. At number 10, from Portland, Oregon, we have Mean Jeans. They dropped an album called Blasted this year. They're a Ramones core band. It's got 15 songs, 31 minutes. They've got a couple of songs that really stuck out to me. One was called Something's Going On, and the other one's called I Don't Give a Shit Anymore. The issue is the whole album is pretty good. And I didn't want to put the whole entire record on the playlist, so I picked those 2 songs. The whole record's good though. It was really I was trying to decide between this one and The Offspring, which one was going to get number 10. And I just think that Mean Jeans is just a little bit more my style. So it's very subjective, number 10. But the Offspring album is very good. But Mean Jeans is really, really an interesting band. Like I said, Ramones core band out of Oregon. Yeah, not much else to say about it. This is probably their best album. I think they've got like 3 records, something like that. I know of 3, and I've listened to all of them. Blasted was my favorite. And if you're in Mean Jeans and you see this, Billy Jeans was supposed to talk with me. What happened, dude? I still want to talk with you. I love talking with punk rock guys. So hit me up if you're interested in still doing a podcast. I would love to talk with you guys. We're going to make this as quick a video as we can. Coming in at number 9, out of Connecticut, another pop punk band. You know I love my pop punk music. Scooped Up, The Runs. Ew. I'm just saying. The Runs is pretty funny. I like juvenile, fart humor. But 14 songs, 28 minutes in length. Dude, like perfection as far as song length and the amount of time you got to invest to listen to the whole record. And if you like late 90s era Blink 182, Descendants, kind of that grimier, like real pop, how do you say it? I don't know. It's like a I really enjoy the production, but it's not glossy, if that makes any sense. It's a little bit more DIY than that. And I really like this album. And the vocals are a little monotone. Jimmy's vocals are really good though. It took me a couple of songs to get used to them. As soon as I got used to it, I really liked it. It's a little nasalier, little bit monotone, but I really enjoy it. I've talked to him on a podcast twice now, and I would imagine he won't be at all surprised that his album is on here. He's got a couple songs that were the singles off the record called "Best Days" and "Joyride." I've included both of those on the playlist. The whole record again is also really, really good. I try to make sure that when I put an album on a top 10 list like this, that the entire record is quality and it's not just oh, it's got 4 songs out of 10 that are really, really great. The other ones are okay. No, no, no. I want a good record, and this record is fantastic. I think I gave it like a 9 out of 10 when I reviewed it. But Scooped Up, if you like pop punk music, especially like that late 90s style, not Newfound Glory, not the glossy Blink 182, but like Dude Ranch Blink 182. Yeah. If that's your jam, Scooped Up's your jam. Yeah. I don't know. But at number 8, the complete opposite end of this punk rock spectrum, we've got this is Violent Way from Violent Way out of New York. Great band, and I'll have a live set from them from this past weekend up on the channel pretty soon, probably in the next day or two. Super short, to the point. It's 8 songs, like 22 minutes. This is very much traditional street punk music. Pissed Off, Arm in Arm, bro hymn type songs. Forever Being Heard and Scum Like You are the 2 songs that they led with, and I think they created videos for both of them. So those are on the playlist. I would urge you to go out and listen to the whole record. It's not very long, so it's an easy listen, but it's really good. I thoroughly enjoy Violent Way. As a matter of fact, the last couple of years, oi music has become one of the most important subgenres of punk for me. Speaking of Oi music, at number 7, I think these dudes are from Chicago. Let me look it up real quick. And by saying that, I probably gave away who this is. Okay, yeah, they're from Chicago. It's Lost Legion with the album Behind the Concrete Veil. Okay, so check this out. I really enjoy the vocals on this. It's got like a cookie monster style vocal with a very reverby guitar, but an incredibly crunchy bass tone. And when you mix all three of these things together, it gives you a sound that I really like. And there's a pop sensibility to the choruses on this record. And not every song has that, but enough dude where I was like, man, for a really heavy street punk band, they sure do know how to write a hook. They have a song called War Machine, and they have a song called The Animals We Used to Be. Both of those will be included on the playlist, but that's number 7 on the top 10 punk rock albums of 2024. Now, number 6, also of the street punk variety, a little bit different. I think these guys are from New York. It's The Stress. It's an EP called More Than You'll Ever Be. 6 songs, 13 minutes. This is a band that I really liked last year. I believe they had an album on my top 10 list from 2023, if I'm not mistaken. What was it called? It was called The Stress Never Die, I think. And but they put out an EP this year, and it is so good. Like, I really enjoyed their first record. This thing is phenomenal. We have a couple bands like this on the list, but they have a song, they have a couple songs. Honestly, there's only like what 6 songs. 3 of them I put on the playlist. Not Enough, Meth Mouth, and the title track are all standout songs on the EP. Every single song on there is great though. It's very much like Oi with a heavy dose of street punk. And I know those things are interchangeable words to a degree, but I think you might know what I mean. You know, more of the street punk music. Maybe you don't know what I mean. Who knows? Okay, we're at the top 5 right now. Honestly, all 10 of these albums are so good. It's been a really great year for music as far as I'm concerned. Number 5, they're from Atlanta. It's Rotten Stitches, Above the Ashes, 12 songs, 30 minutes. This is like street punk with like thrash metal. So you've got maybe like Maiden metal, honestly. Like yeah, it's like the Casualties and Iron Maiden mixed together, kind of. Uh yeah, yeah. What kind of metal is that? It's kind of thrashy metal with street punk. It's good, man. Rotten Stitches are awesome. And the thing was is that when I first heard the name, I wasn't 100% sure what they were going for. And I saw the cover art and I was like, okay, I get it. And I thought this might just be another generic street punk record. And I would have been happy with that. Honestly, I like that kind of music. Boy, was I wrong. They are very, very good. They have a song called Murder of Crows. They did a little, alleyway video for it. Excellent video, but even better song. Very, very, very good song. There's another one called Life is War. Both of those will be included on the playlist. At number 4, down here in Texas, boy, another street punk band mixed with some metal, but this time it's a little different. It's Starving Wolves. We have The Fire, The Wolf, The Fangs, 11 songs, 33-minute in length, heavy lyrical content on this record. This is featuring Davey Tejas of the Casualties and the Crumb Bums. Well, Crumb Bums first, then the Casualties, and now Starving Wolves. I mean, they've been around for quite some time at this point, but some people they're new to some people, right? But this band is very much like if you mix the Casualties with Manowar. It's a little more like power metal and street punk. It's a slightly different sound than Rotten Stitches, but they have a few songs that are just gonna blow your hair back, and that would be Nothing More, Ossuaries, if I said it right, Burn the Stations. Those 3 songs live rent free in my head, and they're on the playlist. But the whole record is it's honestly it's a record you need to listen to in its entirety. You need the experience of the album to really understand the message and the stories in this record. And they play really, really good live as well. All right, number 3. This is where things got a little bit complicated. I'm just gonna be honest. Number 3 and number 1, they flip flopped, and I'll explain why after I get down to the end of it. I don't want to tell you why yet because you'll give away number 1. Number 3 is Alkaline Trio, Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs. That album has been out for like at least 6-7 months now. I still listen to it a lot. a lot, like weekly at least. Sometimes I'll listen to it multiple times in a week. Let's see here. They have a Hot for Preacher song, but they've also got Bad Time is one of the ones that I really enjoyed off this album. Let's see here. Oh, they put out a single recently? Dang, I didn't know that. Okay. That's cool. I need to go listen to that. So, okay. Bad Time is one of my favorite songs off of the record. Hot for Preacher is very good. Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs title track is really, really good. Teenage Heart is really, really, really good. Shake With Me. Oh my goodness. There's so many good songs on this record. It's ridiculous. I'm going to put Hot for Preacher. Bad Time is an all time classic song. Here's the thing Bad Time by itself is so good that this is one of those rare albums that I would say if that was the only song I liked on the record, I still might buy it because it's that good to me. Uh, but I think every song on here but one, yeah, and there's an interlude on here. That's the only thing I don't really care about on the record, and I don't dislike it. I just don't care about it. Every song on here is awesome. They played almost the whole. Nah, they played like half the record live when I saw them. They did a really good job, but very, very good record from Alkaline Trio. All these years later, they're still making quality albums. It's just like the Offspring. It's incredible. I really really like it. So okay, number two. Number 2 and number 1, again, it was hard to not flip-flop them, but number 2, it was an EP, and number 1 is a full length, and I think for that reason, I was able to make the distinction between which one should go in which place. But number 2, from down here in Houston, Texas, we got Liberty and Justice. Their Locked In EP just dropped recently. It's a 5-song EP, 13 minutes. This band just keeps getting better. It's honestly like it's startling. Like I don't know the word. Like it's not shocking because they're incredible musicians, but like, damn, dude, 3 records ago I thought they were like pretty good. I was like, this is a really good band. You guys deserve to be on a big label. And it just kept putting shit out that was better and better. And I'm like, well, how do you get better than you were? Like, I don't understand how you keep writing better songs, but they do. So shout out to Ryan and the boys, Richard, everybody that plays in Liberty and Justice. The 2 songs that stuck out to me were No Substitute and Saint Jude. No Substitute is one that's been on repeat for me. I listen to that song a lot. It's on like maybe 2 of my mixtapes at work, probably 3 or 4 different playlists that I have. And then Saint Jude is one that I recently started really getting interested in and listening to and just putting in playlist, playing on the stream. But likely to nobody's surprise that that's there on my list, man. I love that band so much, dude. Shout out to those boys for keeping it real and bringing amazing credibility to the city of Houston, man, because there's not a lot of bands that are as good as that. it, it is what it is. There is one band that's as good as that, though. Okay, before we get to number 1, real quick, I just want to mention my Patreon and my Bandcamp and my Discogs. I am a small business owner. All I do is YouTube, a record label, and a small record store. And I mean small. It's like 15 by 15. It's a very small room, but it's all punk music, right? I do a lot for my community. And I don't need a pat on the back, but I do need your support. So if you care about that and if you want to buy a record or buy something off my Bandcamp to support what we're doing, awesome. If not, no big deal. But I need to let people know it's there. They're all linked in the description. I've got new releases coming out every month or so on the label. I've got some vinyl releases coming pretty soon from Bullshit Detector, Empire Down, Before Dawn, featuring members of Clip 45, the Templars, and Mad Sin. And then we have Static Friction out of Boston. Really, really good music coming, man. I just did one for Cake Eater. It's a hardcore band from LA featuring members of the Havoc. And I did Without Apologies 4-song demo. It's an Oi band from Houston, Texas. Shout out to Zach from Without Apology. Good dude. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble for a minute. Back to the video. It would be my number 1 record of the year. The best punk record of the year, in my humble opinion, is one that recently came out, actually. It's Dead State by California Slugger. All right. 13 songs, 32 minutes, first off. Wow, chef's kiss. 13 songs in 32 minutes, bro. Perfect. Honestly, you could chop it down a little bit, but there's a couple of like intros on a couple of songs. Actual song length is probably closer to like 31 minutes, 30 minutes. They're amazing live. They're amazing live. And they got in a ridiculous bass player. Tommy from Slugger, awesome dude. Been on the channel a couple of times. Really cool guy, sweet man. Really good front man. Very energetic live. So is Ryan from Liberty and Justice. Like really good. Like they raised the bar as far as frontmen of these punk bands, man. And I know Ryan's my age, so like the fact that he's still doing that stuff at 40 years old is incredible. Like it's incredible. I admire it a lot, man. And I don't mean he's probably watching this going like, dude, shut up, because he's a pretty humble guy. But Ryan and Tommy, two of the best to do it. But Tommy's like one of those guys that where he's a big dude too. He's like over 6 foot tall. And if you're not careful and you're like at the edge of the pit when they're playing, he'll jump out in the crowd and start going around wrecking shop. It's entertaining. It's a blast. I enjoy it, but I am old. So I stay way the hell in the back and I film like I'm like the nerd that I am. Okay. Sick bass lines, but dude, I put so many songs off this on the playlist. You're a Rebel, Under the Boot, Dead State, Number One Crop, Kick It In. Dude, this album is so good. I've listened to it so much. There's a couple of albums this year that I've discovered, but they weren't from this year. As far as records that are this year, dude, Alkaline Trio, Liberty and Justice, Slugger, Starving Wolves, Rotten Stitches, The Stress, Lost Legion, Violent Way, Scooped Up, Mean Jeans. I've spent a large amount of time listening to these records, dude. This is a great list as far as I'm concerned because every one of these albums is quality. I like that it's basically two pop punk bands, a couple of street punk bands, and then a shitload of oi bands. Because, dude, I'm telling you, that music has resonated with me over the last few years, and I love it. But that's my top 10. I'll go through it one more time real quick for you. It's at number 10, we have Mean Jeans, Blasted, pop punk a la Ramones core. Number 9, Scooped Up, The Runs, pop punk a la late 90s Blink-182, maybe some, modern Descendants. At number 8, Violent Way. Oi, this is Violent Way out of New York. It's very clear it's an oi band. Number 7, Lost Legion, Behind the Concrete Veil out of Chicago. Number 6, The Stress, More Than You'll Ever Be. Those are both oi bands, but Lost Legion is more of that reverby, dark toned oi, and The Stress has got a little more street punk in it. Number 5, Rotten Stitches, Above the Ashes. It's street punk mixed with like Iron Maiden. Starving Wolves at number 4 with The Fire, the Wolf, the Fangs. That's like street punk mixed with like Manowar. And then we have at number 3, Alkaline Trio, Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs. Still rocking and rolling after all these years. At number 2, Houston, Texas own Liberty and Justice, locked in 5-song EP from our local oi boys down there doing the damn thing inside Houston. And then at number 1, we have California Slugger with their new album, Dead State. 13 songs of pissed off oi street punk. It is wonderful. Okay. All that being said, I got a couple of bands I just want to say what's up to because they were really, really good. I listened to them quite a bit. And I wasn't going to make a list like this without mentioning these bands because I think it's deserved. We have Iron Drugs with their album 4. It's super noisy, fast, hardcore punk from how do you say it? Rottenstall, UK. Think Negative Approach, Kill Your Idols type stuff. Really, really good. We have Gag Bags, self-titled EP, Snotty Power Pop, Garage Punk, very, very good music as well. Opposition Party did an album called Rethrashed. It's from Singapore, crossover thrash punk for fans of Municipal Waste. Then we have Short Days, Direction Nowhere. It's moody, gothy punk and roll out of France. Reminds me of Before Dawn, some of the lighter cold oi stuff out there. It was really, really good. Then we have Hand on Heart by Cockspar, their last album. I mean, at the age that they are right now, to still put an album out that's that good is fucking bananas. All right, I'll just be honest. It almost snuck into the top 10, but I really like the Mean Jeans record. And then Hood Rats, Crime, Hysteria, and Useless Information. Old school fast punk from Canada. It just rules. It's just fast punk. I would say it almost toes the line to hardcore punk. It's good. No breakdowns, but like, man, good shit, dude. Hood Rats are awesome. Yeah, so check those bands out. I'll link a bunch of them, but there's going to be a playlist. That's much easier than linking them. If I get to it, I'll link them. I don't want to lie and say I'm going to do it because I'm not 100% sure. But if you ask about one of them in the comments, I'm sure I can not be that lazy. I can go, here's a link. But yeah, I might even do like a pinned comment with some links to stuff that people are asking about. Iron Drugs might be. I might be doing some stuff with those guys. Who knows? I don't know. Also, I was gonna. Okay, yeah. So top 10 punk rock records of 2024, plus a whole bunch of extras. So it's like the top 20 records of the year, right? Let me know what you think of the list. I'm sure plenty of people are going to hate it. So let me know how bad it is and how your better list is, well, better. Yeah, thank you. Either way, welcome to all the new folks. Thank you for all the old school folks. Please like the video. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Let's make this community large and in charge. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next punk rock review. Peace.